Do you ever have one of those jobs on your to-do list that is there week after week after week after month after month? Well, this is mine. This is my garage freezer. Big stand-up freezer. I love this freezer. It is a disaster on the inside. So today we're gonna get it done with just all in. So let me show you what I have set up, show you the freezer, and then we'll just get to work. All right, so I have this little station set up. I have some bins. I've got a couple of new bins. Those ones on the right, the white bins, those are new. And I hope they're gonna fit perfectly in my freezer, but I cannot tell you yet because I don't have any room in there to try them out. So I have them labeled pork, chicken, and then this one is commercially processed food, seafood. These two boxes are to be processed. So these, whatever's in these will go either into the house or into the refrigerator out here to defrost so I can get them processed. I do have a miscellaneous bin because heaven only knows what is in my freezer that I cannot remember. I also have a couple of coolers down here, some big bags of fruit and veg will be on the left. And then I have a bunch of things in my freezer that eventually get moved to my indoor freezer. They're individually sized servings of veggies and meat and things that I have already processed to prepare to be used quickly, but I don't have enough room on my inside fridge. So this is the overflow for that. So I'm going to gather all of these things in light categories, and then we're going to see how much I have of each and where they need to go in the freezer. Yeah, scary, right? Oh my goodness. It's extra scary on camera. So at some point I had all chicken on the top and that worked out fine. Now I have hamburger and ribs and all kinds of stuff. This is just, I don't even know what this was intended to be. It is now just stuff crammed in there. These were, well, those were sausages. I don't know. So, and I have on the door, you can see I have on the door, I have some of everything. I have sausages, I have ground beef, I have commercially processed foods, I have bacon, I have all kinds of crazy stuff, and it makes no sense what I have where. All right, so my goal is to empty these two bins first. I'm gonna get it all over here because these are eventually going to be all things beef, and then I think this one is gonna be all ground meats, and it'll be ground beef, ground pork, ground chicken, ground turkey, whatever it is I find in here. That's my current plan. That's what I'm thinking. So I think that's going to make it much easier to just keep these in here. And all right, let's get started. All right, so I have a bunch of things like the stuffed peppers, tomatoes, all kinds of things that I preserved in individual serving sizes this summer. Massive bags of cauliflower rice. Ooh, that's a squeaky one. More stuffed peppers, jalapeno poppers. I think this is going to be a bigger category than I thought it was going to be. Jim's spaghetti sauce. This is a really excellent spaghetti sauce that I get at the farmer's market here in town. I don't think I bought any this year. I think that's from last year. I have big bags of peppers. So I do have a container for big bags, fruits and veggies, where I just put the Costco cauliflower rice. So I'm going to put this kind of thing in there because that is way more than one serving. Seafood. I don't have a ton of seafood in my freezer. I'm going to put this out for a few minutes. Probably end up sticking it back in the freezer to hold there. Kielbasa, commercially processed. Tomatoes, and some more jalapeno poppers. All right, I'm making progress, although not nearly as much as I would have expected. I have a ton of bags of the peppers and onions, which is great. I use these all the time. In fact, I think I'm out in the kitchen. So I need to make sure that I move some along to where they can get used. My original thought was that I would put all of these kind of packages on the freezer door. But I think I'm going to have so many of them, I'm not sure that's going to be ideal. Did I have a sausages or am I? No, just in the processed food, I guess. Coconut flour. Wrong freezer entirely. Big bag of cauliflower, corn. Whoops. One of the things I know someone is going to ask me about is the brand of my freezer and where I got it. This is a Hisense. That's the brand, Hisense. I bought it at Lowe's a few years ago. As far as I can tell, I think it is a discontinued model. However, I don't think that the company is out of business. I imagine they have other models and probably have updated this one somehow. I love this freezer. I got extraordinarily lucky with it. I needed it on a holiday weekend a few years ago when my old freezer of 25 years or so just gave up the ghost and quit on me. I needed something delivered the next day. I got lucky, but I know no other research on this brand other than my experience with it. So Hisense is the brand. What did I think I was going to do with a bag of jalapenos that size? That is far more than I would use in just a recipe, right? Same with that one. I don't really know that that was my wisest decision there. I think I'm going to put that in the bulk, sorry, in the loud squeaky one. I do have a side-by-side fridge freezer over here, and I try to keep my flowers and nuts and things, all my backup bags in there. So this one will just head right over there. All right, I'm going to process these for the animals. This is ground turkey that's freezer burned. All right, chicken thighs. Can't even imagine why I would have bought that. Ground chicken, bruschetta seasoned. I don't know. Doesn't sound good to me at the moment. All right, let's go again. Apparently at one point I felt like this container could be sufficient for my ground meats. I was so wrong. Okay, pork. These are all processed foods. We tried these things from Costco, cranberry jalapeno chicken meatball. Cranberry jalapeno chicken meatballs. These are so good. I have 2 of them. I think I may have another one in there too. Sausages, more sausages. Freezer burned sausages. Won't give those to the animals, but I will deal with them. Giant bags of peppers. All right, we're making some progress. And thighs. The blueberries I put in my yogurt. Stew beef. I have a lot of stew beef. Clearly I'm going to need to do some canning of that. I told you at one point I had a lot of pork tenderloins back here. I've just found them. That wants to be closed for a little while. Pork tenderloins. Need to do something with the pork tenderloins. I have too many of those. We're going to eat that this week. That is a flank steak, chicken, blueberries. I think I need to repackage these and keep them inside. That would be easier. I'm going to put my shrimp back in here. I don't want them defrosting while I'm trying to make some progress here. This one, I think it's a little too freezer burned, so I'll give it to the animals. Not too freezer burned for them. All right, I'm making progress. I don't have anything in the miscellaneous bin yet. I did have that one bag of shrimp in the seafood bin, but that was it. I have some commercially processed food. Not too bad, reasonably healthy stuff. A little bit of chicken, but I haven't even gotten to the chicken shelf yet. Way too many pork tenderloins. Way too many. I think that's going to be something that I grill and then freeze dry. All right, I have a bin here called marinated meats and pork tenderloin in there, of course. I do have some prepared marinated meats, fajita chicken. These are London broil. These are London broil. I see a lot of London broil in here. I like it because it's inexpensive, it's easy, and I can cut them into sizes that we can just cook one and both of us can have dinner, or we can have leftovers. Roast beef. Oh my goodness gracious, okay. I'm gonna need more. I'm gonna need more space for beef. That's a good thing, but not what I was expecting. Okay, so I'm going to turn the seafood bin into another beef bin. The next thing someone's going to ask me about will be the extra shelves that I have in the freezer where I do flash freezing if I'm going to be vacuum sealing something, or I do pre-freezing if I'm going to be freeze drying something. These two shelves that I have in here were outstanding investments. They saved me time, they saved me space. After lots and lots of searching, because remember I'm working with what I think is a discontinued freezer, I found a manufacturer's parts website. I don't think I was the target market for that. I think the target market is probably repair companies, service companies, resellers, that kind of thing. But I found my model of freezer in there, and I found freezer shelves. They weren't very expensive, so I ordered 2 of them. Now I will say that when they came, they weren't what I was expecting. What I got were shelves that go on the freezer door. So I called them and they were terrific. They understood what had happened, you know, layman versus somebody in the trade, right? So they said, no, what you really want is the racks. So if you go looking for what I would call freezer shelves, know that they might be called freezer racks, and make sure that you're ordering the right thing. I will put a link to that website below. They have all kinds of different brands, not just my brand, but hopefully that will help you if you want to go find something so you can do the same thing. They have been so useful, I can't even tell you. If you buy things at Costco and then you think, what on earth was I thinking? Well, this is one of those things. Paleo 3-pepper charbroiled chicken burgers. I think I'm going to turn the miscellaneous bin into another beef bin. don't even know that we had any of these yet. 1, 2, yeah, I think we have. 2, yeah, 10 burgers. I don't think we liked those. I think I'm going to take those in and we'll give them another try, and if not, we'll do something else with them. More steaks. Yikes. Stay put. All right, gigantic rack of ribs. Chicken. Bacon. Individually packaged chicken. Wings. 1 package of wings. David will be happy. Not sure. Stay cold. Okay, top sirloin. Ground chicken. 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 And more chicken. At least all of that came out of the chicken bin, though. I have no place to put it. I'll put that there. All right. I'm not entirely sure how much progress I'm making right now, but I am trying to put the meal size, for a couple of us or several of us, steaks down in the bottom, steaks or roast beef or whatever, and more of the individual cuts like flat iron steak and all of my beef tips I'm putting up there. I may end up moving the beef tips down. We shall see. Individual steak, ground beef, ground beef, ground beef. Oops, individual steak. Individual steak. Flank steak, tri-tip. Individual sirloin steaks. Okay, some ribeyes. Those are David's favorite. Individual sirloin steaks. London broil. Okay, this is all ground beef, ground sirloin, so I need to figure out where that's going to go because that is my ground beef. Okay, I may need a temporary spot for some ground beef. So I think that temporary spot is going to be here. I don't know that I need to eat these first. Okay. All right. Let's see what's next. Okay, we're almost done. Some of these big bags of veggies, I'm just going to put straight on freeze dryer trays. And then I will stick them in the freezer while I go turn the freeze dryer on and get it ready. So I got 5 trays ready to go. Sweet. I want to do the corn. Definitely want to do the rice cauliflower stir fry. It's okay, but you know, it's already flavored, so we just don't go for it all the time. I think I can fit 2 on a tray. I found some spinach taking up space in the freezer. Don't need that. So I can get spinach. You know, when you have the current freeze dryer that's out there, I have the medium 5 tray. Back in the old 4 tray version, one of the earlier ones, you used to be able to really pile things high because there were only 4 trays. They weren't that close together. Now they're pretty close together, so you have to do a reasonable job of sticking to the borders of the tray. Gads. See if I can get these. They're big clumps. Whoops. All right, I may get 3 of these in here and then end up saving 1. Hold your ears. See, there's a lot of ice in these. I find that, of course, it just evaporates or gets sucked out with the vacuum or whatever it does in the freeze dryer. And unless it has actually freezer burned the food, it just has no impact at all. All right, let's get the corn. Corn is one of my favorite things to freeze dry. I do not use a lot of corn. For some reason, I feel compelled to buy it in really big bags. So that's 3 big clunky things taken care of. Now, when I stick these in the freezer, I do put a piece of parchment over them for a couple of reasons. One, to really help protect them from frost, and 2, so they don't get pulled by the shelf above them. So let's take this one. Okay, here's the corn. Whoa. All right, let's get a cauliflower rice in. Here's the second cauliflower rice. Spinach. And the last corn. Okay, I have one more bin to fill. That's with the rest of the bulk veggies, and then I'll be back and I'll give you a tour. It's looking really good in there. All right, I think you can see the whole freezer from here. So quickly, on the door, I have all of my processed foods, commercially processed foods. I also have some prepared pesto. Now, most of this is from 2023, so we really need to get through that. It's delicious. We just, of course, as you know, haven't been eating a lot of noodle-like things lately, but we will work on that. Also down here, I have some individual serving size portions of cooked protein. So this is like the baked chicken breast. We did a bunch of these a few weeks ago. I have some sous vide chicken breast. I have some jerky. Up top, let's get through this quickly. I'm getting the buzzer here. I have chicken breasts, I have chicken thighs here. This is one of those oddly shaped things that was taking up way more space than it should. So these are just grass-fed beef burger patties from Costco. We need to go ahead and get through those, or I need to repackage them, or I need to freeze dry them. I need to do something with them. We don't pull them out often because we really prefer big, thick burgers. So I just, I don't know. We need to get through these. That's on my list. So this is all my ground meats. So I have ground beef and buffalo in this one. I have ground poultry here. This is ground chicken and ground turkey. This is ground pork and ground sausage. So Italian sausage, breakfast sausage, and then plain pork. I think I actually have some veal in there as well. These are my bulk peppers, and these are all from 2023. So I think what the problem is that the package size is larger than I just go to pull out. So I think I'll probably end up freeze drying most of these because that's so easy just to pull out a handful of freeze dried peppers and throw them in whatever it is I need. So I'm probably gonna do that. These are, what is that? Oh, those are ribs. These are pork. This is pork skin to make some cracklings with. I ordered all of these things from a couple of different butchers, and I need to get them used up. This is pork. Most of that is pork tenderloin. I do have some pork chops in there as well. You saw that we prepared the trays for the freeze dryer. I've turned that on. These will go in there as soon as I'm done with this video, and then I'll start working on what is next in here to pre-freeze. On down here, these are all of my little prepared packages that I've done. So these are what the heck are these things? These are the jalapeno poppers. I have some little cherry tomatoes. I love to just throw these in the oven and roast them. I think those are terrific. The small packages of peppers and onions. So this whole bin is filled with that. And this is kind of my refill bin because I keep my daily use bins in the kitchen. So I just come out here and refill what I need when I need it. This is my little miscellaneous bin. So I had some shrimp, I had some scallops, I had a piece of fish, and then I had a couple of marinated meats that I just don't reach for that kind of stuff very often. And then this next drawer, this is a big drawer, and it is filled with individual size steaks and steak-like kind of things. So there might be some little sirloin steaks in there. There might be some cut up London broil in there. There are a couple of ribeyes in there, maybe some New York strip steaks in there. And then I also have a bunch of beef tips that I'll be using for canning purposes. And then down below, I have some overflow of the ground beef down here. This I'm going to turn into something shelf stable. And then beneath that is all of my bigger cuts of meat. So a whole London broil, a whole roast beef, a big chuck roast, a brisket, big flank steaks, all that kind of stuff is down here in this bottom one. And that is my newly organized freezer. I am so happy with it. I cannot even tell you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I will see you next week. I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.